And welcome back to another episode of the Geek Centurions. It's me, your boy Eli, with good old Joe over here.
Hey, how's it going?
And we're here to talk about the most recent two episodes of What If, episodes 6 and 7.
Yes,
There's 9 episodes,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
8, 9, okay. And so let's get to it because we have really not much to talk about unless we want to add some other stuff in there too. Little sprinkles here and there. We'll see.
Yeah.
But aside from, what could be What If, because we're getting close to the end. I think we're at least 2 episodes away from it coming to an end. So, is there anything that you're looking forward to?
I get in terms of other what ifs. I mean, not really. I think I've gone into this series very sort of open minded at what stuff might happen and what various takes they want to go down. Because I'm guessing that's sort of the idea of What If, is just because anything can happen, right? And it's always interesting to see the types of stories they try to make out of it, right? And I think with this episode, this first episode we're going to talk about, it's what if Killmonger saved Tony?
Or, as I like to call it, what if Killmonger had a better plan?
Yeah, because this is essentially Killmonger going to... I think it starts out the same way how Iron Man 1 starts out.
Beat for beat.
Yeah, Tony Stark's in Afghanistan. He gets attacked by the 10 Ring terrorists. But this time, Killmonger shows up to help save him. So instead of getting captured by these terrorists, Killmonger saves him, and Tony does not become Iron Man.
Yeah, and to quote the Watcher in this episode, he was basically saying, in this universe, a hero wasn't made, but a villain took an opportunity. Well, I'm paraphrasing, basically.
Yeah, because through this... Killmonger essentially wants Tony's favor by exposing the assassination plot by Obadiah Stane, because he was the one that orchestrated this whole attack so that he could get control of Stark Industries, right? And through there they start a budding relationship, becoming friends. But Pepper is very sort of does not trust Killmonger.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, because
it's he. I have some criticisms on the writing of this episode because I feel like it seems too easy at the same time. Like some stuff that happens is too coincidental, and it's more of okay, my head is scratching, but I'm willing to believe that Tony will look away from that because the way we've known Tony to be, because Tony in the beginning is very much kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
He just whatever, dudes, whatever. Here it's yeah, I'm starting to. You would not question this, but I'm oh wait. But then again, Tony would believe that.
Yeah. And basically, Killmonger gets, I guess, as I think one of the heads of Stark Industries, I believe, head of security or whatever. And so Killmonger brings up this plan about how he wanted to make these sort of unmanned drones he would call liberators or whatever.
Yeah.
And Tony, as a to pay back, Killmonger helps him on the project, and it's basically he makes a giant robot. Right? Granted, it's not super huge, but it's a
robot. It's an unmanned mech.
Yeah. However, they need a power source, and Killmonger shows off his little vibranium ring given him by his father, and he tells Tony that we could use vibranium as a power source. And they sort of realize that if this plan is to work, they need more vibranium. So Killmonger convinces Tony to get some vibranium off of the black market from Ulysses Claw. Pepper's like, I don't think it's a good idea to make a deal with the black market seller for this stuff, right? And Tony essentially is like, don't worry about it, we'll just get Rhodey to do it, right? It'll be all fine, all right? Because he's our U.S. Military guy, so he can help us out on this. So Rhodey goes to meet Claw. Claw shows off a Dormilaje spear. However, the little handoff is interrupted by a, certain
Hero
from Wakanda.
Yeah, Black Panther shows up like,
Yeah. T'Challa shows up to stop the deal because obviously Klaus stole all this. And T'Challa is essentially just all in on trying to stop this. But Killmonger is there. He takes out T'Challa. He kills him.
Mm-hmm.
And he also kills Rhodey to sort of clean the tracks because he planned this whole thing. He had Claw call in the Black Panther to stop the deal, so that way he can get rid of all loose ends and keep the vibranium. And Killmonger uses this incident as sort of an international incident between the U.S. and Wakanda. Like the U.S. is very upset that the Wakandans have killed a soldier. Wakanda obviously, does not like the U.S. being an imperialist nation or whatever, just extending their reach like that, trying to take Wakanda, vibranium stuff. And through that, Killmonger tries to cheer Tony up with the vibranium. However, Tony is like,
"Oh no, I figured this out.
I figured your bullshit because thanks to Jarvis, Jarvis was able to pretty much pinpoint what exactly happened, and Tony is not happy. And Killmonger's like, "Oh, what are you gonna do? You gonna try to kill me? You gonna get Pepper Potts to take me out? No. How about your fucking robot?" Which he used Killmonger's vibranium ring, and he powers his robot, and he attacks him. But Killmonger is able to defeat the robot using the Dormilage spear, kills Tony, and sort of sets it up as a Wakandan hit on Tony.
Yep.
And convinces the U.S. military to essentially force Stark Industries to mass produce these robots to invade Wakanda. Again, Pepper is very much not trusting of Killmonger, but she has her hands tied. She can't do much.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Killmonger goes with Ulysses Claw to the borders of Wakanda. He pretty much does the same thing he did in Black Panther.
Yeah.
Kills Claw, uses him as a sort of a tribute to like, hey, listen, I'm I'm the son of the prince's brother, therefore I have claim to the throne, blah, 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 blah. Although this time, T'Challa's father is still alive.
Mm-hmm. Because remember, this is 2008. This is before the events of Civil War.
Yes.
Which is, if you didn't know that, it will be very jarring.
A little bit, especially because Shuri is here and she's like a little girl.
Yeah.
Right? So, through that all, Killmonger's able to at least convince T'Challa's father, hey, listen, alright, I know I might be a U.S. soldier and stuff, but I'm Wakandan. I'm Wakandan first, alright?
Wakanda forever.
Yeah. Alright? And I'm here to help you out because the U.S. sent these vibranium drones, and they're on a neural hive network through satellites, and, we gotta take them out. But, we gotta let them through the shields, and then cut off their supply, and then we'll be able to take them out, right? And Shuri is, like, sort of the main one that's like, how can we trust this outsider? Come on, Dad, we can't trust this outsider. But T'Chaka is like, no, he's
family.
He's family. We listen.
Vin Diesel comes in and is like, he's family.
you don't betray family like that.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, he would not like Killmonger because he's like, he killed his cousin. Let's kill him family.
No.
All right. I'm Dom. I gotta take this guy out. He's killed family, right?
Yeah, that meme took way to
that meme was overused way too fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that whole so the U.S. sends these robot drones. They have a big battle. At first, the plan is successful, but Killmonger has a switch that reactivates them. And he's like, Tony Stark must have done this. And Shuri's like, why? How would he possibly know that Wakanda would be able to do that, right? She's thinking in her head. And like Killmonger doesn't even give it that much of an explanation. He's like, that guy's always been a villain, right? And it's like, Shuri is like mainly just like, oh, this guy's full of shit.
Oh no, yeah. Yeah. I'll get to my issues with the writing as I pointed out earlier.
Right, yeah. Basically they had this huge battle. Killmonger proves his sort of loyalty by saving what's her name? Like
Angela Bassett's character, yeah.
Yeah, her like the main leader of the Dora Milaje, right?
You mean the mom, right?
No, the other one.
Oh, because I remember the mom.
Like the mom, yeah, the mom also fights.
She's a general.
Yeah, she's the general.
Okoye.
Okoye, yeah. Okoye, yeah, he saves Okoye.
I don't know why I was blacking out the names for me.
Yeah, and sort of proves his loyalty, and sort of shares that shares the belief of his father to King T'Chaka, being like, listen, it's time for us to liberate our people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think King T'Chaka sort of sees that way as like, you're right, my nephew, and you shall now take the powers and the mantle of the next Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, once they do that, they head to that spirit plane of the ancestors, and he sees T'Challa, and T'Challa's like,
he's giving him the lesson, but he's not listening.
Yeah, it's like, you did not earn this power; you have merely stolen it.
Mm-hmm.
And one day it's gonna bite you in the ass. I paraphrased this because
that's not what he said.
That's definitely not what he said.
It's not exactly what he said.
That's not exactly what he said. It was more eloquent, but it's like,
I ain't that eloquent.
Yeah, but Killmonger's like, no, all right, you guys sat here isolated. I'm gonna free my people, liberate them, and stuff. And it's like, it's not gonna end well, my cousin. Yeah. So meanwhile, the U.S. starts to build up, ready to launch missiles at Wakanda to pretty much level it to hell.
Mm-hmm.
And Pepper's like, this is just too crazy. We gotta we know. She's like, I know who's behind this. We have to stop him. All right, this is all a big misunderstanding. And for some strange reason, it's not explained. Shuri is in her office and is like,
hey, what's up?
Yeah, hi, how you doing?
Yeah, I got the proof right here.
Yeah, I have all the proof you need. It's like, no one wants to listen to me either. But let's,
No one wants to listen to the two competent women in the room.
Yeah. It's like, don't worry, we got this. And the Watcher sort of like has this sort of ending parallel, message of like, heroes never truly die, right? Because those that are left that are inspired by them will continue their
which is a beautiful message. And we clearly know that Watcher's now a mercy vein. No?
I mean, I don't know.
Heroes never die.
I mean, he didn't revive anybody. Actually, I don't even think that's how it works anymore. I don't know. It's been forever since I played Overwatch. But, yeah, that's sort of where that episode ends. And, I'll just let you handle this.
Okay, so I don't hate this episode, but this is... So there's been a lot of complaints. I've heard a lot of complaints about the first episode being like, it's just basically the same movie. Just swap out Peggy Carter and Steve's roles. And personally, I feel like that one made sense, though, considering the context of the story and where it was set in. And, of course, it would play out just like the movie. Here, most of your characters are being dumb.
A little bit, yeah.
And I don't know. I was never really big fans of, like, whenever I see, like, a strategist outmaneuver every possibility because he planned for every eventuality. Because I'm like, but that makes that's not fun.
Yeah.
That's like, it's like you can't be a perfect strategist for everything. And everyone would quote stuff, says like, oh, this and that. Say, for example, like Batman, like, oh, he's prepared for everything. Yeah, because he has time to prepare for it. But when he's in a situation that he didn't plan for, he figures out a way to get out of it.
Yeah.
And the reason I bring that all up is because my issue with the writing is that there's clear evidence of like, maybe we shouldn't really trust this guy, but we just decide to turn a blind eye.
Yeah.
And I would understand, like I said, for Tony, that's understandable.
Yeah, essentially, Killmonger saving Tony does not allow Tony to go through his character arc.
Yeah.
Right?
That's understandable. Everyone else, I'm like, were you guys really just gonna like trust, especially for the Wakandan side? Like, are you really gonna trust this guy? Because because T'Chaka killed his brother because he was gonna do some stuff that he wasn't agreeing with.
Yeah.
And you think that he'd be okay coming back knowing that you killed his dad?
Yeah, like...
That was going on in my mind the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think especially like I don't know, like I think
even Shuri was like, "Hey, that doesn't make any sense." But I was like, "No, we can trust him. He's family."
yeah, it definitely seems like the plot sort of has to bend a bit just to like have Killmonger have his plan go through actions and stuff, right?
He's that. It's one of those things where like I often seen sometimes in writing where like they come up with a master strategist, and like I said earlier, like they strategize for everything. They're like so tactical. They knew everything was gonna play out, but then like I said, that doesn't make any sense because if a strategist wouldn't be prepared for every single eventuality.
Yeah,
there's always a random factor.
Yeah, and that's sort of what makes a good strategist, right?
Yeah.
When you throw the random factor in, how did they adapt to that?
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I often see that trope too, and it usually sometimes it's like the villain strategist.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I've planned for everything, and then it's like, oh no, I've been killed.
How did that? I did not expect the power of friendship.
I did not expect this man to kill me. Oh no.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, I definitely agree with that, and I mean, to be fair, I guess like I guess to be a devil's advocate to your point, like at least him talking to T'Challa, like indicates that like it's very much likely that Killmonger does not succeed by the end of his whole like plan. Like it's still sort of bound to fail, except while in Black Panther it's very minimal, right? They're able to stop all this stuff.
Yeah, they stopped it early before it happened.
Yeah, before they could send it out. Here, it's very much that Wakanda will go to war with the rest of the world, and it's only through Pepper and Shuri they're able to stop Killmonger, and you know that whole sort of stuff plays out. But I do agree with you, with just to bring it back to the whole like, how did Team T'Chaka not just like. What, did he just assume that Killmonger just didn't know how his dad died?
Or just forgave him?
Yeah, like I don't know. It's like I know like I guess like the only logical explanation why they're so trusting is just how they view America or whatever.
Yeah.
Like they're meant like they've I guess been deceived to think that the Americans killed T'Challa, right? And it wasn't Killmonger. But I don't know. It's like when the little girl in the room is calling bullshit. All right, it's like, come on, man.
Come on.
Like,
now, granted, this is a very intelligent little girl.
Yeah, Shuri is super intelligent. She's like, you know, when we see her in Black Panther, she's already made all this crazy shit. All right, but still, it's like, come on, man.
Come on, just. I mean, I'm not. I think this is a very solid episode, but there's just aspects like when you really start thinking about it, man, that makes no sense.
Yeah, it's built on a delicate house of cards. However, you know, as soon as you notice that there's like a small inconsistency, it kind of starts to fall apart.
Yeah. But I mean, at the same time, like I still say it's a very like I do think this, in my opinion, this is the weakest episode, but there's still some fun aspects like. I like how they added like a little dash of like, you know, a meta joke with like Killmonger saying he likes anime because Michael B. Jordan has stated he really likes anime, and fucking making a note that the robot looks very Gundam like. Well, not Gundam like, but like that has a little like pointy V fins on there.
Yeah, like Tony actually, you know, says like, well, if it doesn't work out, we'll get like a very large, expensive Gundam like kit or whatever.
Which I laughed because like yeah, that makes sense. But and I think there's some cool moments within each character, but like it just I don't know. Also, Don Cheadle's now officially taking over Terrence Howard's role as
Rhodey. And yeah, this is the one time we get to see Don Cheadle hanging out with the Iron Man 1 incarnations of all the cast. Which, I mean, I don't know. I found that very funny.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's again, I think this is probably the weakest episode out of all of them because I didn't really... it fell apart when she started realizing all that, and like my kind of, I guess you can say my kind of bias with like the stories with a hyper intelligent strategist that always comes out on top, because I always feel like that's kind of like lame.
Yeah.
Because like I said, if not every strategist plans for everything. There's that one random factor. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this episode?
No, I would agree that this is the weakest, but I think for me it's more so of just like it just like it's not as interesting as the other ones in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like the setup is like I get like this the setup is neat, but like where it goes is just not as interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just like, oh, this is all sort of,
Yeah, I feel like I said, that's why I said like earlier, like the complaints I feel that people have about the first episode, because a lot of people have been told like that's kind of like the weakest one, would be the exact same stuff that I would say for this episode.
I don't know. For me, it's more sort of like I thought, like in my brain, because I knew we were gonna get an episode about this topic, like Killmonger saving Tony Stark. I thought it'd be kind of interesting if Tony actually becomes a villain and uses the robots for evil.
That's what I thought too.
And Killmonger
learning the error of his ways.
Yeah, and it's like sort of actually becoming a good guy.
Yeah.
Right? Sort of,
Especially since like so many people really like the idea of Killmonger. Well, to bring back Killmonger and make him the new Black Panther, because he was such a likable character.
He was a relatable villain for a lot of people,
and they want to see him have that like Loki redemption arc.
Yeah, so I definitely thought that they would probably do that in some way in this one, because it's like, oh no, the consequences of my actions come to bear.
Yeah,
I have to do something about this. Well, it's time to be a good guy.
Yeah,
right.
It's not like within episode 4 where with Evil Doctor Strange, where he had to learn a lesson. He doesn't know the lesson is learned here.
Yeah,
not yet.
Not yet, because T'Challa is very much like, power stolen will never serve you. You will fail.
Yeah.
Right. But this is definitely I think the weakest. I mean, there's still like fun bits.
Yeah.
Just seeing the Wakandans fight giant robots is pretty freaking cool. Mm-hmm. But regardless, I agree. I do agree. It does feel like it's the weakest one.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's talk about a very fun episode.
Which, funny enough, you would think with the premise, you would think this would be the weakest. What if.
Yeah.
Like with the premise of this what if, you would think it's the weakest one, but it turns to be a very fun round.
Yeah. No, I'll say this: I don't agree with the title because it makes no sense.
Yeah, I guess.
Because it's like, what if Thor never had Loki as a brother?
Yeah. What if Thor was an only child?
And I get it. That's just I think it needed a different title.
Yeah, it's more like. I don't know. I guess because to be fair, here it's like instead of Odin adopting Loki, he returns him to the Frost Giants and sort of raises Thor as an only child, and without Loki being the trickster god to mess with Thor and
let him be serious,
let him like become like a bit of a serious dude. Thor is
before he lightens up by Ragnarok.
Yeah, Thor is just a party dude.
He is a straight himbo.
Yeah, like he instead of what happens in the event of the Thor movie, where Thor is sent to Earth to learn a lesson, right?
Classic story.
He instead, while his mother goes off on a little like vacation with her girlfriends and stuff, and Thor,
some girl time.
Yeah, and Odin goes into Odin's sleep. Thor, instead of I guess studying like his mom wants him to, he throws a party on Earth.
Basically, if you ever seen those like '90s party movies or like anything like Ferris Bueller related, this is that episode.
Yeah. I guess it would be like something like Project X, that movie.
No, I wouldn't say Project X. Project X is a little more.
Yeah, all right, but still, it's just like
the scope of it. I'll say that.
I mean, yes, it's a massive scope because they just hang out in Las Vegas, and it slowly turns into just a party around the Earth.
Yeah, because it starts off with Jane Foster, who they did get Natalie Portman back to voice.
Yeah.
And Kat Dennings also voices what's her name? I forget.
I forget her name.
The intern. It's
Yeah,
called
the intern. Yeah, the intern.
And they're like, oh, there's an anomaly. There's like this, and that, and you see the Bifrost coming in, and everyone they make it seem like, oh no, it's an invasion, and Thor's giving like some very Asgardian speech, like
it's like, people of Midgard, your life as you know it will end. Because it's party time.
Yeah, bitches, pass the beer around.
Yeah, drinking beer from a never-ending cup. Woo!
Exactly. It's just the most. It's just like, oh wow, this is gonna be a fun one.
And pretty much like people from all over the galaxy are hanging out.
All 9 realms.
Yeah, like fucking not the Collector, his brother.
The Grandmaster.
The Grandmaster, Jeff Goldblum, shows up. It's like, I do love a cake.
Yeah. And he's DJing.
Yeah, he's being the DJ too. Like, everyone's just having a party. And
Howard the Duck is there.
Yeah. And Jane's sort of like, this is not what I was expecting, but I have to talk to Thor, because her main issue is that this same energy reading she saw in like on like a different star system, and that star exploded. She's kind of worried that, oh no, all this partying will lead to the destruction of the Earth. We gotta call S.H.I.E.L.D. But she talks to Thor, and Thor's very much like, hey, oh, you look at this little iPad thing. Did you make this yourself? Are you a genius? You're really beautiful. And it's just, Jane's like,
yeah. She starts twirling her hair. And
it's like, it's like, so
Yeah, and it's just like in the first movie where they're just making googly eyes at each other.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Kat Dennings.
That's who it was. Kat Dennings.
Yeah, that's the actor.
What was her character name?
I don't know. I forget her name. Isn't it like... I don't know. I can't remember off the top of my head.
I feel like we said it earlier and we just fucked it up. Oh, well.
But yeah, she hangs out with Howard the Duck for a little bit. It's like, hey, you want to get some nachos? It's happy hour. It's like, fine, but this is not a date. All right, let's just see where it goes. And and probably the most bizarre joke of the episode, they get married.
Because remember, they're in Vegas.
They get hitched in Vegas, which, I mean, yeah, like,
that is the funniest shit.
Yeah, which is like a thing. Which, I mean, yeah, like, if you don't know Howard the Duck, he is definitely into human women. So it's not super crazy, but it's still very weird.
Do we want to watch the Howard the Duck movie, Jay?
No, because that's like that I've heard that movie's really, really bad.
Okay. So do you remember when they first shut off Howard the Duck in like Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and how I reacted?
Yeah, it's like, oh shit, what the fuck?
I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
We're doing this again.
But Howard the Duck has been mainly just used as sort of like side comedy and stuff.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But who knows? Maybe he gets his own movie one day.
Hopefully.
But yeah.
With Kat Dennings.
I don't know. This is all the time, Ellie, please. So pretty much like the day after, everybody's hungover for a little bit.
Because of course they would be.
Yeah, and Jane gets a knock on the door. It's S.H.I.E.L.D. with acting director of S.H.I.E.L.D. Maria Hill, who explains that Nick Fury tried to like get a word in with Thor, but he got
Korg.
Korg just knocked him like super hard to the ground while he wanted to do a cannonball in like a Vegas fountain or whatever. So now she's acting director, and it's like, listen, you called us in for this, and we got to stop this guy. And Jane's like, Thor, no. Thor's is like,
he's cool.
No, he's fine. He's very beautiful, right? Like, you don't have to worry about it.
Look at those beautiful blue eyes
and that long flowing blonde hair. It's like, and Maria's like, no, we got to stop this guy. All right, we need to figure out how to stop him, get him off our planet. And it's like, and they decide that there's only one person they can call on at the moment, because again, there are no Avengers at the moment.
No, this is maybe Iron Man, but I doubt he'd be.
This is like maybe, but like if anything, Iron Man's partying it up with Thor, right?
Yeah, this is before Iron Man 2.
Yeah, he's just like, whoa, yeah, let's all hail these aliens, right? Awesome, right?
He's just drinking as much as Thor right now.
Yeah, so they decide that there's only one person to call in to stop this party. Captain Marvel.
Oh, yeah.
So, Which, before we get to that moment, someone else decides to show up and hang out with Thor. Loki.
As a giant frost giant.
Yeah, he's a frost giant, remember? And he's like, for a second, it's like, are they gonna fight? And it's like,
yeah, you're my brother from another mother.
Yeah, brothers for life, Loki. Woo!
Which is why I'm saying, like, man, that title is not, because they're still kind of bros.
Yeah, but like, you know,
they're not that kind of bros. They're not the kind of bros that are like, hey man, I got you, bro.
Yeah, they're like, yo, what's up, man?
Yeah, they're party-hearted bros.
Yeah. And this is when Captain Marvel shows up, and it's like, listen, you need to get off this planet, all right? Party's over. And Thor's like, no way, bro. The party's just begun, all right? Stop being such a spoil sport.
Stop being a party pooper.
Yeah, and Captain Marvel is like, all right, then I guess I gotta fight you now. And they do have, like, fights here and there. They're fighting all over the world. Thor knocks up.
Man, is it really animated?
Yeah.
Because there's a point where, like, they do some, like, Looney Tunes shit.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, like, it's over-the-top Looney Tunes shit, but it's more like, oh, that's okay, so that's the UK, clearly, because there's a big sign that says UK.
Yeah, that stuff, yeah. And, like, Thor knocks down all Stonehenge, and, you know, Captain Marvel's very angry. He's like, don't touch that. That's for... Actually, I don't know what that's for, but don't touch it.
You would think he would know something. Isn't Stonehenge supposed to be some Nordic thing or something? I don't
know. No, it's definitely pagan, but I'm pretty sure if my knowledge on Stonehenge, because I am indeed a Stonehenge researcher and scientist. I studied Stonehenge for at least 50 years.
And you're not bullshitting us the whole time?
No, I'm absolutely not. That Stonehenge was definitely made by pagan worshippers for... I don't know. Maybe to go on a weed binge or something. Fucking ask an actual scientist. But regardless of that, you know, they keep having, like, fights until eventually Thor is able to, like, sort of best Captain Marvel. Mm-hmm. So plops the hammer on top of her and it's like, you need a timeout. Because that's what a party pooper needs. And everybody starts pointing at it. It's like, party pooper. And
I don't know why isn't there, like a SpongeBob episode is like party poop or something like that?
No, I don't think so. But yeah, and Maria Hill's like, what the hell? How did you not beat this guy? Nick Fury told me you're like the strongest one ever. And it's like, yeah, but like, I don't want to blow up like a city trying to stop this dude.
No, just screw that city. It's France. Who cares?
It's like, no. We need to figure something out.
We like the French.
All right, yeah, like
a lot of beautiful art there.
Yeah, all right. The Louvre, have you seen the Louvre?
Gorgeous.
Yeah, and so they sort of essentially decide that the only safe way is to get him in an isolated spot, like, you know, the desert or Siberia, which they sort of decide on. And there's, like, I guess a funny sort of joke going on with Kat Dennings being like, just blow up one of the Dakotas. No one's gonna know.
It's like one Dakota would know.
Yeah, it's like, which one is it? North, south? South is the one that's on the bottom.
Yeah, if you're not into Kat Dennings' kind of comedy, then that might not be... Because I was laughing at first, and I'm like, okay, just stop.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Jane gets a call from Thor, and he's like, hey, I really miss you. Like, where you been, all right? It's like, no, we'll call you back, all right? You know, it's like,
oh my god, they're teenagers.
Yeah, and Maria Hill is sort of done with Jane stuff, being like, no, we can find a diplomatic way of handling this. And it's like, you know what? I have a better idea. And just drops them back out of Vegas. Howard's like, oh, look at who's come back, calling back to me, right?
It's my wife.
Yeah, it's like,
my wife.
Not now, Howard. And they realize, you know, it's like, there's probably only one way to figure it. She tries to call Thor again. Mm-hmm. But she gets Loki this time.
And Loki fucks up.
Yeah, he drops the phone because he's a frost giant.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh. Right? And as there's like, the partying keeps going on, fucking Surtur shows up. That
was the best joke.
Yeah, Surtur tries to hit on the fucking Statue of Liberty and melts her arm off. And he's like, he just runs off, destroys some power lines, trying to fucking do like the
limbo.
The limbo, right? It's like, hey, hello, can I go? Oh, shit.
Yeah, no, it's literally, like I said, it's a literal party movie.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's very funny. And from, like, at least from Jane now knowing that there is a Loki, it's like, wait a minute. If there's a Thor and there's a Loki, then there has to be an Odin, a Frigg, and a Heimdall rounding around, right? Mm-hmm. If we just call Thor's mom Frigg, she can sort this all out, right? Because, you know, it's like, oh, yeah. So they managed to, with the help of Saigar, who's off screen, you know, the like, what is it, Swedish scientist from the first movie?
Yeah.
Right? That dude. They're able to generate some power to contact Heimdall. And, you know, Heimdall teleports Jane, and it's like, hey, listen, I gotta talk to Frigg.
And then she talks to Frigg.
He gets teleported to Frigg while she's, you know, hanging out with, you know, all her friends, like, who are you? It's like, hey, listen, it's about Thor, all right? And meanwhile, as Thor's about to do this awesome trick on top of the Sydney Opera House, which I find very funny, because Chris Hemsworth is Australian.
Yeah.
He's like, yo, let me slide on this giant pointy thing. And it's like, I don't know, you know, personally, I feel like, and we'll get to this a little bit later, I feel like this iteration of Thor is just Chris Hemsworth with godly powers. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just Chris Hemsworth being himself sometimes here, right?
Oh, yeah.
Captain Marvel swoops in and pretty much just drags him all the way to Siberia and sort of gives him an ultimatum of like, listen, off this planet or I'm blowing your ass off. And just in case, Rhea Hill's like, arm the nukes. It's like, are you serious? It's like, listen, like, why are we arming the nukes for? Like, you know, Colton's like, why are we arming the nukes? Just in case Captain Marvel gets distracted by a cat or something, right? Because she does not, like, trust Carol enough to finish the job, essentially.
Yeah.
So it's like, fuck it, I'm gonna blow up Mopo. Right? It's like, yeah, but what's gonna happen to Captain Marvel? She'll be fine. And just before Captain Marvel's able to hit him, just before the nuke's about to be launched, Frigg shows up because Jane has explained, hey, listen, Thor's doing stuff on Earth, and I kind of need your help. So Frigg checks up, like, Thor, what are you doing? And it's like, I'm studying, mother, like you told me to, with the polar bear in the background. And it's like, really? Because I could have sworn someone named Jane told me you were on Earth. And it's like, Jane ratted me out? I mean, yeah, I'm on Earth, you know, it's but cultural exchange going on. It's like, really? Well, I guess I can come check by, right? And it's like, and Captain Marvel was just like watching this go down. It's like, she's just snickering to herself. And
because it's pretty fucking funny.
Yeah, because essentially,
it's like it's because like for them Thor was like a threat, and I was like, oh, he's a fucking teenage kid.
Yeah, oh, he's just a kid who's just like wanted to have a party, right? And even like they're like, should we still fire the nukes? Like, and Maria was like, no, nah. I think everything's gonna solve itself by now. Which I think it was who was it? Rumlow, right?
Yeah.
It's like, damn it, we never got to fire the nukes.
So that's his Hydra's talking.
That's the Hydra talking in him, yeah. So Thor's like pleading to Captain Marvel, like, listen, you gotta help me. My mom's gonna kill me. It's like, gee, I would, but you know, I got places to be. You know, just I suggest you start from the corners and just go from there. And it's like, wait, corners? This is a spear.
Which is like the best line in the movie.
Yeah. So Thor tries to convince Loki, dude, you gotta help me. We gotta fix this stuff up. Frigg's coming. She's gonna kill me. And it's like, that sounds like your problem, dude. She's your mom, not mine.
And I was like, there it is.
Yeah, it's like, so Thor's trying to get everybody to like leave, but also help him clean up everything. And everybody's like, screw you, Thor. Screw you. It's like, then he, you know, uses all his godly power to just be like, listen to me, everyone. Frigg's coming, and we're all fucked if she, like, finds out what we've done. So everyone pitches in, even Surtur fixes the Statue of Liberty. It's like, yeah.
And I love my favorite joke of that whole, like cleanup, or because, like, it's Thor who's trying to, like, scrub his name off a wall.
Yeah, they even fixed the Leaning Tower of Pisa, which, you know, it's the Leaning Tower of Pisa, so it's supposed to be leaning. It's supposed to be leaning, right? So by the time Frigg shows up, you know, he's just at a fucking chalkboard. Everybody's just sort of sitting down. It's like, oh, hello, mother. I told you we were just studying and culture exchange and stuff. Really? Mm-hmm. Right? And she's like, oh, really? That's interesting. And then Captain Marvel decides to show up. It's like, hey, listen, here's all that stuff you wanted on this pad. All the NPR, PBS podcast stuff. Yeah, yeah. Call you next week to get you more stuff. It's like, thank you. It's like, all right, fine, ready to go home, Thor? Yeah, sure. Let me just grab my hammer, and the hammer comes back with just some underwear and like all this graffiti on it.
Party stuff. Yeah,
it's like,
fuck.
You're like, mother, I can explain. But by the end of the episode, Thor returns to Earth to check on Jane, and he asks her out on a date. So
this is what I mean. Like, it feels like a '90s like movie, like coming of age movie, or like yeah, let's have the big epic party at my house.
And it's like, oh no, everything's gone to shit. My parents are coming. We gotta fix everything. And they learn a life lesson about responsibility, right?
Yeah.
And the Watcher's like, and they lived happily ever after.
Wait, what? Because, like, apparently, some shit's going down.
Yeah, because it turns out, as Thor's about to leave, a fucking portal opens up with Ultron robots, and Ultron in the body of Vision. But
maybe.
It might be Vision, it might be Ultron in Vision's body. We don't know, but all we know is it's a robot with all 6 Infinity Stones about to brawl. And even the Watcher's like, wait, what? I thought the story was over.
The script said it's over. Why is the animation still going?
Yeah. And that's where the episode ends.
And I'm like, that was a pretty good end.
Yeah, because it seems to me that a lot of, a lot of the more lighthearted what-if stories, like the T'Challa being Star-Lord one, like they end they end on a happy note. But then it's like, psych, plot twist, everyone's gonna die.
Or, yeah, because, like, the past few episodes, like, starting all the way from, like, I would say Doctor Strange, like, it all ends pretty bad.
Yeah, so this one is, it's a nice change, but it's very lighthearted, it's like a lot of fun jokes.
Oh, thank God, because we just saw so many characters die in the last few episodes. Like, all the Avengers died in episode 3.
Yeah,
The world was destroyed because of Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
And then, what was the last episode?
Killmonger about to start an international war.
World War 3,
yes. Yeah. And here it's like, oh, nice party. Yeah, sweet. Everything ends nice and tight. Fucking Infinity Stone robots coming in, about to conquer this Earth and stuff. So, I mean, it's I don't know. It's just like sometimes it feels like, oh yeah, right. This is supposed to be like a crazy timeline, right? Yeah. Just add that in there, because I guess for me, like, I think the only it's a very sort of wait, what kind of ending.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the only way to explain it, at least to like try to like make it make sense, would be to be like, this is probably Ultron or Vision turned evil. Which, I mean, if we recall from Age of Ultron, Vision was supposed to be like a body that Ultron was going to occupy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I can only imagine that this Ultron, this might be an evil Vision, or it's Ultron in Vision's body, going probably back in time and stuff in order to gather the Infinity Stones. Because I think I talked to you about it earlier, that like I could kind of see that because Thor was a party dude and held this huge party on Earth and got everybody distracted there, this version of Ultron or whatever was able to at least gather like the last remaining stones on Asgard, right? Because the Ether was there, which is Reality Stone, right? And with Thor gone, Frigg gone, the only person there was Heimdall, I'm pretty sure, because Odin was in Odin's sleep, and he can't do anything. Ultron probably just walked in, took the Reality Stone, and it was like, final piece of the puzzle. Now I'm gonna conquer Earth.
My thing is, it's probably a Vision and or Ultron that's just got all the Infinity Stones and just is traversing through the multiverse,
just conquering everything.
Yeah.
Because I mean, not to say that I'm not gonna say that it happened in the comics, but like the comic version of the Age of Ultron story is very much like.
Yeah, Ultron took over everything.
Yeah, so, I can kind of see that being part of the case, but, yeah, it's always like...
There's also this thought I have, because, and it goes back to something that we talked about in the previous episode, where that because for the most part, whenever we saw the Watcher, he was like in this sort of outline, like silhouette of like stars and galaxies and planets, very reminiscent of Eternity from the comics. And in the Infinity Gauntlet book, Thanos took over as Eternity, right?
He went inside him. Yeah, there was a bit of a merge, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what he's doing, and that's how he's able to perceive all these realities.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because like that's my thought, because that was my original thought process with the Watchers, that he's channeling through Eternity to see all these different. That's why he was in that silhouette.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, I guess it fell apart because later on we saw him, as looking like the Watcher.
Yeah, I think especially in this episode, like he looks the most normal.
Yeah.
Like he just looks like a bald dude just watching, right? Not like part of the celestial background and stuff. I mean, obviously, I think ever since the Doctor Strange episode, we've seen like his full regular.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
form.
That's when I feel like it started falling apart.
Yeah,
my theory, but maybe I'm still kind of right. I don't know, but it's a really interesting thing that they're doing with this. But it also goes back to why I hope it's not what I think it is, where we are seeing the first interference of the Watcher. Because I don't know, my thought was like save him to like Fantastic Four when we finally get a proper introduction to Galactus. Or maybe it could still work because it's the first time he's interacting with the movies. I mean, I guess it could work. I don't know. I'll wait to see. But aside from that, I don't know. What do you think of this episode?
No, I mean, I liked it. Like I think I said earlier, this seemed to be like the episode with the least potential, just from the title alone, and just from like, it's like, oh, it's just a party thing. But no, it turns out to be like it takes its concept and does a lot of good with it.
I mean, for me, it's like I feel like the title should have been something different, because like it makes you think of something completely different. Like, oh, like he'd be more stuck up, or he'd be more like this. But I guess this is technically correct for Thor, considering how Loki was always the one that was tricking him, making him be like very defensive. But as he got to know people, he got to like be more relaxed. But I mean, I guess this is right. I don't know. I'm probably just talking out of my ass. But anyway, I did enjoy this episode because it was a lot of fun. Like seeing Howard the Duck again and seeing all this fun stuff going on. And yeah, I'm totally down to see what else happens. You got anything else to say?
No, I think I'm kind of excited for the next two episodes.
Okay, I don't know if the next two episodes are going to be back to back, because I heard it might be a two-parter. So there's that. If it's two-parter and they're doing a double, we might be back next week.
Yeah, all right.
We'll see. Anyways, guys, thanks for checking us out. If you want to know where you can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at the Geek Centurions. We are most active on Instagram. And of course, there's a link on our Instagram page to all the podcast sites that we are officially part of, like Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Pandora and such. Also, a link to our YouTube for all the audio listeners out there that want to put a face to the voice. That's where we are. And if you're on the YouTube, you know how it goes. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Also, a link to our Patreon for you guys to support us any form of way, in any way you can. And yeah, that's it. That's What If episodes 6 and 7. And What If has been pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like everyone has their favorites and everyone has their like least favorites. Like, I know some people didn't like the T'Challa episode. And I guess the Killmonger one was my least favorite. But yeah, I mean, everyone can agree episode 4 was the best.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange, Evil Strange. Anyways, guys, you have a good one. It's me being your boy Eli.
It's been me, Joe.
You guys have a good one. Peace.